Welcome into the KSO show. Another day, another solo time for me, Mason Voth. We will have some football content later, probably depending on what took place over the weekend, because I'm recording this ahead of time. Maybe you get football on Monday. Maybe we say, oh, don't want to talk about that. Let's think about it on Tuesday. That's a Tuesday thing. Either way, you get to hear my conversation with K-State basketball players that took place last week in Kansas City. K-State showed up to media day. They sent PJ Haggerty, Abdi Bashir, and Moby Ike-Garuka. I thought all three of them had good things to say. I was excited to talk to them. And we'll start off with Moby Ike-Garuka, because I found him to be maybe the most fascinating person that I talked to on Wednesday, because he is one of the only returning players to the roster this year. There are a handful of others, but he might be the most significant in terms of the playing time that he got last year and will get this year. And he was the only one that was there at Big 12 Media Day. So getting his perspective on last year's team, this year's team, and how things have kind of changed with some of the new coaching additions, I think that's some good insight. So here is my conversation with Moby Ike-Garuka. Here at Big 12 Basketball Media Days with K-State forward Moby Ike-Garuka. I want to start with a lot of guys on last year's team, not on this year's team. So what was it that led to you deciding you wanted to come back for another year at K-State?
What led me coming back was just like honestly a feeling from in my body, and I feel like it was a calling from God too. You know what I mean? I just felt like I couldn't leave here on a note like that, and just seeing just this staff again. I don't know too many places in the country with the staff as loving as this. So I mean, why should I leave? Why would I leave? You know what I mean? So
what has it been like now? You got a full year with them last year. Now you get ready to start a second one with Coach Tang and all the staff members, and some new ones this year too.
Coach just knows how to add people who want to win just as much as him to the staff, and clearly he has done that with certain coaches that he has added to the program, and I've loved every single one of them. I feel like it gets better and better each year. So,
where did last year fall for you in terms of the expectations you had for yourself and kind of what you might be able to do at this level, and then building into what you think you've improved upon this year?
I would say last year it was my first year there. I was more of like a spark guy to the team, and I feel like that's what I'm always going to be, no matter where I go. But I feel like I've been allowed to expand my role a little bit to stay more on the floor or just do certain things that we need to do to win. And I'll do anything to. So.
Probably the moment that sticks out the most to people last year was your steal and dunk against Arizona. What was kind of in the moment the reaction? That obviously you're just playing basketball when it happens, but then you get fouled, so you kind of get a moment there. What is that like in the moment, and then reflecting back on it now?
In a moment, I just feel like I had the whole Manhattan on my like we're all together in that moment, and that's pretty big to me. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like that with a lot of things I do in life. So, but looking back at it, it's like it was just an intense moment. It was great. It was great.
You'll have the unique perspective of being one of the few guys, along with Dave and Taj, that come back from last year's team and then get to experience this one. Are there key differences that you've already noticed with this year's team versus last year's that might indicate you guys can get over the hump and go from a team that missed the tournament last year to winning more games and being more competitive?
Yeah, I mean, I would say this team this year, there's a lot of hard workers in my opinion, guys who are super hungry. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what a coach like Tang wants. You know what I mean? That he can trust and stuff like that. So.
And you said up there at the podium earlier that you felt like these were guys that like you can hang out with more off the court. Is that something with this group that has maybe been easier or more comfortable for you guys as a unit this year?
Well, with me personally, not really, because I'm super close with the guys last year too. It was like my close to those guys too. But I mean, this year it's just like I feel like this year it was quicker. I do admit it was a bit quicker to get along with these guys than it was last year, I guess. But that could be because I just got to college, so it was like a complete different feeling. But yeah.
What's it been like for you, because you come from, and now you have more international guys on the team this year, so maybe a little bit more of an understanding with some of your teammates. But what's your journey been like going from Ireland to Ellsworth, Iowa, to now Manhattan, Kansas?
It was like a big change. I would say Ireland. The difference from Ireland to Iowa, honestly, it's not that much of a difference. I get a very friendly feeling in those two places. You know what I mean? I was at Ellsworth Community College, a great college, great town, great people, nice people. And the vibe kind of reminded me of Manhattan a little bit. So I was like, okay, like, you know what I mean? I'm just going from home to home to home almost. So.
In terms of what your expectations for this year are for the team, you guys, I think, kind of found more along the lines of what you expected to be later in the season, but it took a little bit to get there. Do you think that you guys have discovered what led to it taking so long to get to the high level last year, or what do you expect out of the gates this year?
This year, I think we are a bit more like we just wanted more. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that we didn't want it last year, but it was like, you know, things fell apart. But that's what happens with a lot of kingdoms, so it's normal. But this year, I feel like it's a whole new turn for us. So, yeah.
In terms of your teammates and some of the other guys around, who's stood out to you in the offseason? Because a lot of them are, you know, new looks that you're getting. So who's made some waves that you look at a guy and go, oh, that's really impressive?
I would say the new guys. I would say Andre, our teammate, Abdi for sure, PJ Haggerty, absolutely. Honestly, every new guy who's come in has just showed me like, wow, okay, like this is like, you know what I mean? It's super impressive. So.
You guys get your first chance to be on the floor in a game on Friday night against Missouri. What are kind of your expectations, and how do you feel the team is ready for that moment?
We want to win, and I think we are very ready. You know what I mean? I feel like we've learned how to prepare, so I think that's a very, very huge thing in that. So.
Is there anything with your game this year that is new that you've added, as opposed to just, hey, I've gotten better at this, or like you talked about wanting to get your minutes up this year, but like, you know, are you going to do something that fans maybe didn't see last year?
Play more confident. I feel like a lot of fans have seen me play confident. Some saw me play like a bit shy, this and the third, but just play more moxie, more me. So.
And you had did you get your number stolen? You got a new number this year?
Yeah, I mean, PJ's been number 4 his whole time, so I was like, all right, you go ahead. I'm not really want to.
You just gave it to him. He didn't have to do anything for you?
Go ahead. You got number 1.
Yeah, it's very kind. You should have had him do like your laundry or something.
Or something, yeah. Next time.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. Last thing that I'll ask you is, do you have an impression that you can do of one of your coaches that sticks out? We like to ask the football guys this at their media day, and they have some good. I think the football coach is going to be a little bit more colorful sometimes, but you certainly have a lot of big personalities on this staff.
I don't think I do.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I don't think I do.
So then I'll just ask you a more straight up question about your coaches. You guys got some new coaches added to the staff this year, and Bill Peterson, and then the Driscolls. Yeah. What's it been like having those guys get added? I also know that there's been a lot of talk about Mark Vidal being on the staff too now.
First and foremost, having Mark Vidal on staff is the biggest thing for our forwards, or even for the team. Mm-hmm. You know, because we see what winning looks like. You know what I mean? Seeing how he is in practice, seeing how he gets on us, especially the forwards. You know, seeing how he is there, it's amazing just to be around. And Coach P, Billy P, he's the best of the best. I don't know any other coach that gets on me that much. You know what I mean? As much as Coach Peterson. So I mean, I can trust him with my life. And having a guy like Coach Driscoll run our offense and just be there, be the guy he is just huge to me. He's a ball of energy, and I feel like that's huge.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Moby.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, so that was Moby. Let's move on now, and let's get into the All-American, P.J. Haggerty, a preseason first-team All-Big 12 selection, somebody that went through the NBA draft process this past offseason before deciding to play college basketball again and choosing K-State. He has a long-term relationship with Jerome Tang, as Tang was trying to recruit him when Tang was still at Baylor and Haggerty was just an 8th grader. So they go a ways back, and he was able to make the easy decision that Manhattan is where he wanted to play this year. He explains that and everything else about what's going on with his basketball team right now. So here is PJ Haggerty from Big 12 Media Day. Back at Big 12 Media Day with K-State guard PJ Haggerty. You're back in the Big 12. You spent a little bit of time.
He was in the Big 12 before. He's the bench player.
Oh, wow. A humbling response by Dream Dowling on your shortstop in the Big 12. Then 2 years in the American, Tulsa and Memphis. What is it like getting back into a Big 12 program?
I would say I first started off in the Big 12, young kid. I think I was 17 at the time. I feel like now I done got older, mature. I feel like that year was very humbling for me. Not be able to play, be myself again, but decided to go to another school. Got back to myself, and now we're back in the 12 where it started.
Are there any big differences for you playing for Penny Hardaway versus Jerome Tang now?
I would say as two great coaches. I respect both of them. Last year was a great year under Penny. Showed me a lot of great things, gave me a great platform, and just showed me what it was to be a pro. This year, Coach Tang, I expect nothing less. Great coach. I've been knowing since I was like 8th grade, so just already having that bond is going to be something special.
And you come in All-American last season, expectations will be high. K-State obviously had a roster last year that there were some high expectations. They didn't necessarily meet them. Was there any concern for a player of your caliber coming to a place like that when you might know what took place the year before, if like, I don't know that I want to go and follow in those footsteps and kind of face that challenge?
I love the challenge. I mean, without challenge, nothing. Never wanted the easy way out. I think my whole basketball career's never been easy, so I feel like just facing the challenge. At the end of the day, I overcome it. Every challenge I've been faced with, so it'll be very exciting.
You get to play with some really good players last year at Memphis. Coming in now with K-State this season, who are some of the guys that have stood out to you instantly? Like, oh, that guy can do this. That's pretty significant to me. Who kind of fits that bill?
I'll say everybody on the team does everything what they do very well. A lot of players stuck out to me. We got Doran, very great big. Kamari, another great big. Especially, we got Abdi, Moby, best shooter, best athlete. Nate, one of the best guards. So we got a lot of great pieces, I think, and we're starting to put it all together now.
And you guys have a lot of offensive talent, it would appear. But Nate Johnson comes in. He was Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. What have you seen from Nate Johnson this year?
Yeah, it's everything I expected. Defensive Player of the Year in his conference. And in practice, I see why. Great defender, on ball, off ball. Makes it very tough for any guard that goes against him. So, yeah, it's been very exciting. Makes me better every practice.
Yeah. What's the strangest mascot in the Big 12?
Strangest mascot?
Because we just had Nitro, the UCF one, come by on his Heelys, so I didn't know if
probably say the Arizona State one.
Okay. Yeah.
That was kind of,
yeah. Last year, Coleman Hawkins at Big 12 Media Day had his mind blown by Pistol Pete, the Oklahoma State mascot.
I ain't seen him yet.
And a little freaky with his head, but yeah, I think Sparky with Arizona State gets a lot of picks there.
Yeah.
In terms of like expectations this year, as an All-American last year, is that something where that's like a main goal this year, or is that I hope that comes along with team success type of goal?
Yeah, the team success, I feel like last year Didn't really know I was going to be All-American. Didn't know I'd get picked, anything like that. I just more focused on us winning, and that's what we did last year. I always say winning takes care of everything. Any personal goals I have, I feel like the winning's going to take care of it. So just being blessed to win at the highest level.
Is there a specific game on the schedule this year that stands out to you as the one you're most looking forward to?
I would say I'm looking forward to every game. If I had to pick one, I would say Houston just because I'm from there. You know, no knock to the team or anything, but just having my whole family come out there, being there supporting me, I feel like it's like a family reunion, I would say. So I'm going to have a lot of people there cheering me on.
And in terms of kind of where you feel like your game is obviously phenomenal last year, looked into the NBA draft stuff, is there a spot where you feel like you've made strides and improved your game this year, or things that you wanted to focus on getting better on and were able to do?
Yeah, I feel like this summer was very big for me. Throughout the whole draft combine, I feel like it was just steady, just working out. So I feel like every part of my game, I try to polish as good as possible, but I feel like the playmaking, watch a lot of film, just seeing things where I can make my teammates better. I feel like everybody know I can score. I feel like, how can I help my teammate? I feel like that's a big thing I've been working on.
And there's been a lot of focus on what you can do offensively. Have you had any, moments in practice where does it feel easy for you in terms of the flow of the offense, or are you guys still having to work a little bit more on getting comfortable with each other?
I would say we've built a bond off the course, so the bond on the course is pretty easy. I think Coach Driscoll has a great offensive scheme for us, has a lot of great sets, but at the end of the day, he says players make plays, so I feel like I can make a lot of plays just having the ball in my hand for other people and myself.
What's it been like having Coach Driscoll come in and help run the offense for you guys? Is it going to be fast this year, or what's kind of your expectation for your pace and just kind of what fans are going to be able to see?
Very fast pace. I mean, every time I get the ball, he's always talking about pace, faster, faster. He's always trying to help me become a better player, and I always respect that. But yeah, for sure, playing fast, trying to get it up, get great shots, and yeah.
You have just recognize how much time is typically left on the shot clock in practice when you guys are out there running your offense? Like, do you know how long your possessions are taking on average?
I think if the offense scores on us, we're getting it out. I think sometimes it may take 5 to 6 seconds. We get a tray ball, big man layups, things like that. Sometimes it may take longer, but we're trying to get it early so we can have more possessions.
There's been some noise made about the size of the team and lacking a little bit, but Durin Buka comes in. What's it been like seeing him in action, and what do you think he can do once games start?
Well, it's crazy how tall he is. When y'all see him, y'all going to be very shocked. I think he's 7'3". But yeah, I think he'll be very, very pivotal for us throughout the whole year. He can block shots, he can guard, set great screens, can score a lot of dunks, so he'll be very helpful, and he takes up a lot of space, so people will be intimidated to go down.
You're obviously a very talented player. You've gotten to see a bunch of different guys, a bunch of years of experience. Andre Kostic comes in as a very young guy, but are there things that you see with him that have impressed you to this point?
Yeah, shot making ability. To be that young, maybe 18, 19, whatever, to be that young and be able to have that much confidence, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, we have a lot of great players. I mean, he hit a couple shots on me. It's like, damn. It's like, you got to respect that everybody put in their work, but he's a great player.
What was the number one thing that led you to decide that K-State was the right place to play college basketball this year?
I would say God led me here. Just having my trust in him throughout the whole process. Coach Tang's a very great coach, one of the best college coaches, if you ask me. And just him installing the confidence in me, like today he said I'm one of the best point guards. Just having that confidence in me and knowing that we're going to be at it the whole season together.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and best of luck this season.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. All right, so that was PJ Haggerty. Now let's move on. Final interview of the day, Abdi Bashir. Getting to talk to him. Jerome Tang called him the best shooter in America. He's tried that a couple times. Tyler Perry, mixed results. Brendan Hazen, a little bit better, still mixed results. Can Abdi Bashir come through? Will he be the best three-point shooter in the country? He could be one of them. He's making lists out there like that. The Monmouth transfer knows that people are questioning his defense, knows that he needs to get better at it. He also knows that his role is going to be different from what it was in Monmouth. But all that stuff he seems to be okay with, and he gave some insight into how he is going to be this year on the court and what's going to be different for him versus what he did at Monmouth and now what he has to do at K-State. So here is Abdi Bashir. Back at Big 12 Media Days, here with Abdi Bashir now, one of the newcomers to the K-State roster. I'm sure you've gotten asked by a ton of people, not just media here today, but people in your life or wherever else, why choose Kansas State when you were one of the highly sought-after guys in the portal because of your ability to shoot the ball.
Yeah, Kansas State, they just they made me feel like a priority. Coach Tang, he did his homework on me, he did his research. He called all the people that made impacts in my life. So, it was ultimately an easy decision to choose somebody that's so invested in you and that shows you that they're so invested in you.
And how do you – a lot's going to be talked about with the guards this year. You and PJ, obviously, two of the more dynamic players in college basketball. How have you felt like your dynamic with each other on the court has been to kind of start the year?
Yeah, we just bounce off each other well. Like, we don't step on each other's toes. Like when the All-American's in his mode, you got to let him go in his mode sometimes, you know what I mean? And I know that. And then when I get in my mode, he knows that I'm in my mode. So we bounce off each other really well and just letting him hoop and just feeding off of him because, he's on attack every single time. Like, he's the head of attack. So, we go at the pace he goes. And it's hard to speed him up, slow him down. He's a great player.
And for you, you're making the jump up from the CAA to the Big 12.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I'm of the belief, and maybe you feel differently, but people make a bigger deal out of the jump from high school to college basketball or, a lower conference to a bigger conference. How do you feel like you're prepared to play in the Big 12 this year?
Man, I feel like I'm just a hooper. You can put me in anywhere. Like, there's a difference between a basketball player and a hooper. I feel like I'm a hooper. Like, a hooper you could just put wherever, the park, the rec center, the men's league, no matter what. And I'm just a hoop. I'm a hoop at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter where I'm playing. I'm gonna try to play my best basketball. And I know obviously that coming from a mid-major, a lot of people don't respect it, but people didn't respect me my whole life. So you could just add that to the list. It don't really matter to me.
In terms of now coming and playing at K-State, we'll talk about your shooting in a second because I'm of the opinion that a lot of people say defense wins championships, but then I tell people that the best defense is a great offense. So I value offense far more than defense. But I think people are curious to know how you see yourself as a defender on the basketball court and what you can do there.
Yeah, obviously defense was something that I know I needed to work on coming here, but just being around the guys that'll pick you up, when you're down, and that's the main thing. Defense is a team thing, you know what I mean? Like you can have great one-on-one defenders, but if the team's not sinking how they will, your defense not going to be good. Same thing with offense. I feel like it's a team thing. But just being around guys like PJ and guys like Nate and DC and Dre and all those guys, where it's like you got to be on your heels, on your toes all the time. It just makes you want to play better defense because you're not trying to get killed out there, you know what I mean? So just being around those guys and having great guys to go and battle with, it helps you defensively too.
So on the topic of shooting the basketball, do you feel like at least what you've gotten to experience and practice in the offseason so far, where are you finding your shots or how are they being created for you? Is it something that you feel like will be more on you to do at times this year, or are you getting looks in the flow of the offense that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I feel like this is the most loose I've been. I'm not required to do as much as I was at Monmouth, you know what I mean? So I'm just taking my shots when I get them, not forcing nothing, not trying to go out there and hunt shots. I'm just letting it come to me. And at the end of the day, the ball finds who the ball finds, and it's your job to do what you can with the rest. So I'm just flowing. Obviously PJ gets me great looks, because he draws so much attention, and I'm just doing the easy part. He got the hard part, getting trapped and doing all that stuff. When I'm open, I got the easy part. So just doing that, and obviously, I can still score. I can score off the dribble and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to know that I can, catch and shoot off the dribble. So it is what it is at the end of the day, and I'm just flowing right now.
Is it strange going from a situation where you were expected to do so much at Monmouth, and it was put on you to, not like your role is diminishing in some crazy way here, but you might feel like you have other guys around you maybe have more expectation to help carry the load. So is there any difficulty in kind of transitioning into that role from what you had to do last year?
I wouldn't say not too much. Obviously, I want to, it's tough not like you want to be the guy everywhere you go, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, sacrifice wins. You got to sacrifice something in order to win, and I know that. Obviously, winning is going to ultimately get all of us what we want at the end of the day. So I'm cool with, passing up shots and giving other people shots, when I see them work on them shots, you know what I mean? So just having a lot of guys that, can make and take great shots and get a great shot and knock down a great shot, it's easy playing with a lot of people like that.
Who's the guy that you hate either guarding you in practice or that you have to guard in practice?
Who do I hate that guards me? Nobody can really guard me.
Okay.
So I won't say I hate when somebody guards me. Who do I hate guarding? I'd probably say like a big man. I'm not trying to guard Doreen or something like that.
Well, yeah. How often do you find yourself in that situation
Not
in practice?
Too much, but that's everybody else. Nah, I ain't worried about that. Doreen, that's my kryptonite. Doreen.
Well, this is a pretty, I would say, strong staff in terms of the personalities that they have. What's it been like getting to get involved with them and learning from them and playing for them?
Yeah, it means everything. Everybody on the staff is so unique and different, and it's just so the energy is so high in the gym. Like you walk in and it's just wow. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and just watch. Sometimes it's the energy is just flowing. Everybody's so passionate, and you can tell there's a different type of fire with lit inside everybody. So it's great being around all of them.
It may be proprietary information, so you may not have a great insight, but people would be interested. Do you feel like you have a feel for kind of how your guys' rotations are starting to sort out with, a few weeks ago before the games start to count?
I mean, I'm not too deep into that. I let the coaches do their job, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they tell us, we make the first decision, they make the second. So just going out there and being your best every day and trying to be your best every day ultimately leads to whatever decision they make. And whatever decision they make is whatever they make, you know what I mean? You can't, at the end of the day, you just got to, do what you got to do with it.
Last question, and I'll let you go eat lunch. I asked Moby. He didn't think that he had one. Have you picked up on anything that you can do an impression of one of your coaches? Do they say something that you, I don't know, maybe you guys laugh at, or you know when they say, oh, they mean business right now?
Coach Driscoll would be like, good, better, best, never let it rest until your good's better and your better's best. You take with that whatever you will, you know what I mean? If you slow it down, listen to it, you might get something out of it.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Take care. All right, that will do it for us today here on the KSO Show. All three interviews there. And if you missed anything with Jerome Tang or Matthew Driscoll from last week, you can go find it on the KSO YouTube or in the podcast feed as well. A lot of stuff coming up, continuing throughout the week. We've got another football game for K-State. They play Texas Tech on Saturday, so we will have post-game live after that and all of our regular build-up during the week type of stuff for that. And then basketball does have an exhibition against Newman on Halloween night, Friday in Bramlage. We probably will not be going live after that one unless something disastrous happens. So as long as Bruce Weber doesn't get to just celebrity coach this game and lose to a Division II school, we will not be talking about that game. And then the real thing starts next Tuesday. So just over a week from now, K-State, UNCG, opening up the season in Manhattan. It'll be an exciting time, and we'll be there, and we will be live after the lid lifter for the Cats and the Spartans this year. So that'll do it for today's edition of the KSO Show. Appreciate everybody watching and listening, however you did it. If you want more on the Cats, head on over to KStateOnline.com. We're a part of On3. So find On3, get signed up if you're not a member, because a membership to On3 gets you access to a lot of great stuff if you like college sports, and especially K-State, like most of us do. All right, I'm Mason Voth. I'm out of here, and we'll be back. Football talk on a Tuesday coming up tomorrow with Drew Galloway.